Hello, hello. Welcome to Tammy's Table. I am Tammy Gaines, and I am so happy to have you in the kitchen. And you may be asking yourself, what's the kitchen? Well, listen, we've all been to that amazing house party, and somehow, no matter how much space there is, we all end up in the kitchen, swapping stories, getting wisdom, talking about world problems and our own problems. So I wanted to recreate that on this podcast where we just have a safe space that we're casually chatting, particularly about things that build resilience. So I've been through a lot. I've grown through so much and wanted to bring that message to the world that no matter what you're going through, a divorce or dating or money matters, parenting, living with significant loss, and in this case, living with families that have special needs, kids and adults. Uh, I'm super excited to have you here. I want to remind everybody that Tammy's Table is all about building resilience. So what does that mean? Building resilience to me means something different to everybody, but it's about inner strength and developing confidence and staying optimistic and being flexible and realizing that when life is out of your control, the only thing you could really control is your thinking and how you respond to a situation. So once a month, we do a show specifically for families that are special, what we call special. So I'm really excited today because, first of all, my good friend Sharon, my sister from another mister, is on, Sharon Weber.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
It's so nice to be with you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
All right, you have a weird robot voice. What's going on there?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just like robotic, but that's okay because you're
Okay.
consistent like a robot. That's all good. Um, and I'm also happy to welcome our guest today, Jessica Ames and Maddy Beck. They are from Angel Flight East, who you may not have heard of, but this is an organization that changed my life. And if you know people in the world that have special families, it'll change yours too. So welcome both.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that harmony.
We spend too much time together.
Apparently.
Yeah, let us know if you have a new office space. We're looking.
Well, listen, welcome to all three. I sort of wanted to open, if you allow me. I wanted to talk about how I got introduced to Angel Flight East because I think it was the universe in play. So I'm going to tell a quick story. My son Trey and my daughter Bria are twins. They were born at 1 pound, 12 ounces each. Sorry for the background noise. Anyway, they were extremely premature, and Trey was very sick. Okay. Sorry, Trey was very sick, and I asked my neonatologist, what would you do? Trey had a trach. He was on oxygen. Every time his trach came out, we were calling 911 to have him resuscitated after we, did our thing. And anyway, my doctor in New Jersey said if that were my kid, I would take him to Cincinnati Children's Hospital. The world's renowned specialist in airway reconstruction is there. That's what I would do. So I was like, how am I going to swing that? I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids. My ex is not paying child support. And I wasn't working. I was literally taking care of my kids. So I was in Starbucks in the middle of Manhattan talking to my cousin on the phone and crying my eyes out about trying to work this out and how it was going to work. We hung up. I grabbed my bag and started walking towards the door, and some guy stopped me and said, I overheard your conversation. Do you know that there's organizations that do compassion flights? Like, they'll fly you for free. I was like, what? Total stranger. He said, do a Google search on Angel Flights. I think it's Angel Flight East around here. So on the bus heading back home to Jersey, I did it. I called you guys. You literally changed my life. Like, I would have never been able to get out to Cincinnati with Trey. You flew us out there. probably a dozen times. Um, I don't think Trey would still be alive if it wasn't for you guys, because I had no resources to get him to Cincinnati. So first of all, thank you for that.
We are so happy to help, and I love these pictures that you're sharing. I don't think I've ever seen these ones.
Oh, I thought I sent these over. So this was,
I think that was your most recent flight, wasn't it?
yeah, this was not a medical flight. I called Jessica and I said my family's having a reunion in Michigan. Um, again, I don't have the resources to get my twins there. Like my older kids were going, and she was like, "You know what? We might be able to help."
Mm-hmm.
So these are the pictures of us. Actually, we drove out. This is us coming back from Michigan.
Awesome. I love it.
So listen, talk to me about, and Sharon, jump in at any time, but I'm curious, Maddie and Jessica, about your path to Angel Flight East. Like, what did you do before this?
So I'm Maddie. I actually came to Angel Flight East from college. So 2018 feels like yesterday, but in reality,
Oh my God, you're so young.
I don't feel it. Tell it to my knees. But so no, I actually graduated from LaSalle University in 2018, and my mom was a spinning instructor for funsies 30 plus years ago. At this point, that was my mom's way to lose her baby weight when she had my sisters and I. She just kept with it because of the community that she built, and one of the community members that took her class is our executive director, Ellen Williams. And so Ellen actually was talking to my mom. She got to know my sisters and I very well through my mom. And she asked if I had a job lined up yet. And my mom said no, but she's still looking and she wants one. And that's how I came to Angel Flight. So I originally came on as the flight coordinator who connects pilots to patients and goes the whole way through with them. And then I moved over to the outreach side, and I'm now doing things like going to conferences and having podcasts and just really making sure to get the word out there.
That's amazing. How about you, Jess?
So similar-ish story. I graduated college and I was an intern with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So I graduated knowing I wanted my career to be with a nonprofit. And somehow, luckily, I would not recommend this in 2023, but I found Angel Flight on Craigslist. There was a job posting for a programs and events coordinator. And I've been here for about 8 years now, and I love it.
Because she's older. I just like to remind people of that.
Listen, I got bad news. Sharon and I are older than, probably twice as old as both of you.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Since she graduated in 2018. Okay, so did Haley, my daughter. Anyway, I think that's an amazing journey. I just have like a philosophical question.
Sure.
Do you guys think graduating from college and doing nonprofit work is like a lost form, a lost path for people, for young people?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you had asked me at 2021 where I was going to be post graduation, my answer was not going to be at a nonprofit in Bluebell, but I couldn't be happier with the decision that I made.
I think you definitely have to have the passion behind it, because obviously you don't make as much money as your friends who are in the for-profit world. And I remember when I first started, my parents basically said, I can't believe we sent you to college to make less money than you did before you went to college. So, but once I feel like people hear what Angel Flight East does, we have such a unique mission and we meet so many incredible people along the way. And I think it's also just a great feeling to leave work every day knowing that you're making the world a better place.
Yeah, that's amazing. So talk to us about, just give us a broad brushstroke on your services. Like, obviously I was taking medical flights, for Trey, but you also do compassion flights, and it's not just for kids, also for adults, which I also didn't realize.
Yeah, so we help patients of all ages and all disease states. So if you are somebody who has a rare disease, or if you have somebody who has cancer, we're happy to help. It doesn't have to be a pediatric patient, doesn't have to only be geriatric. We're really here for anybody who's looking to receive better care than what they currently have, or even the more specialized care. So we have a lot of patients who the only person who knows how to help them is located in Chicago, and they're in the Philadelphia area. No matter Angel Flight being located in such a huge hub of um, great healthcare, the Philadelphia area, you have the Jeffersons, you have the Penns, you have everyone in between, but there's
Wow.
still so much more out there. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of patients like that who are looking for just getting that next level. We also have passengers that we help who are looking for a flight to go and be with their family far away. So, for example, last summer we had a young girl who went down to North Carolina for college, and her mom was put on hospice during her school year. So we were able to fly this college freshman home from North Carolina so she could be with her mom on her last few days.
Oh.
So that sounds great. I just had one question
Yeah.
to follow up with that. Is the only qualification to have someone that is ill or sick, or do you have other qualifications that you have other requirements that need to be met for a family that is looking for something like that?
Yeah, our two biggest requirements are just that a person is medically stable and ambulatory to board a small airplane. But it is convenient because we fly patients in and out of smaller regional airports, so they don't
Mhm.
have to go through the long lines, security, baggage fees, anything like that. And then once they are qualified with us, we can fly them as often as needed, and there's never a charge. We do not ask for any financial information. We always say we want to help people before they get to the point of financial distress. And somebody could be very well off financially, but once you have to start traveling for medical care, obviously those bills add up, the hotels
Mhm.
while you're out there. So we
Mhm.
always just take that into account as well.
Gotcha. That
Sharon,
sounds
how does like nobody know about this? Like it took a stranger in Starbucks
yeah, that's
to,
awful.
yeah, because I know there's like so many people
Mhm.
that could benefit.
Yeah, we
Definitely.
focus on rural outreach. So Maddie and I go to a lot of rural healthcare conferences because essentially
Mm,
those people out there are in a medical desert, and
right.
we be able to get to a hospital that can help treat them, whether it's for cancer or rare diseases, but they also might have to drive 5 hours. And who wants to do that to get to their medical care? So we find that a lot of people may just be foregoing their medical care because they think they don't have a way to get there.
That's
So
such
are
a,
there
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So are there any areas that you don't cover?
So it's a yes and no kind of answer on that one. Angel Flighty specifically, we cover Virginia north all the way up through Maine, and we go as far west as Ohio. But that being said, just because a patient is located in our territory, but they have to go to like North Carolina to get to Duke, we're
Mhm.
not going to say, "Oh, sorry, you're a little too far. Can't help you there." We're still going to give all of our effort into helping patients get where they need to go. Um,
Mhm.
so our passengers have to be under 1,000 miles from their destination. We're happy to help with that. And then for passengers outside of those 14 states that I mentioned, we're actually part of an umbrella organization called the Air Care Alliance. And so we partner together with other organizations that do the same exact thing, just in different areas to make sure that patients get wherever they have to go.
Wow, that's
It's pretty
great.
extraordinary. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty extraordinary. Um, let's take I want to take a quick break, but when I come back, I want to tell you like how awesome the pilots are. Like the organization is amazing, but I do want to tell you like about my experience with the pilots. So let's take a quick break and we'll be back in a few.
You can find all the Satonic products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care, it is all there. At the Go shop, Go shop Soulivity.
Hey, welcome back to Tammy's Table. Super excited to have Jessica Ames and Maddy Beck from Angel Flight East with my partner in crime, Sharon Weber. Um,
Hey.
so I wanted to we went to break. So Sharon, I wanted to tell you my experience. I don't know if I ever told you this, but these pilots are so amazing. So usually they fly us like with their family. So they'll be like with their wife and their kids, and then we're all flying together, which is super fun. Um, but they think of everything. Like they provide a meal. When we get there, they want to make sure that you have transportation to your hotel. Like they don't walk
Wow.
away until they're sure that we're good. It's not like a drop and go. So literally,
Wow.
I've had pilots just like sit in the hangar with me and the kids waiting for like Uber to come pick us up. Um, so I wanted to talk. I know it is pretty amazing, Sharon, and
It
I
is.
really, really hope we could figure out how to get the word out, at least across New Jersey, which is where like our reach is, right
We
now.
will. We will. Hmm.
Um,
Now that I understand the programs and services that they offer.
yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Hmm.
So, question for all three of you. Um, I believe we could change the world if we can make the world more resilient, whatever your circumstances. Like if we could teach people how to grow through whatever they're going through, I think we'll be stronger. And I think angel flight fits into that resilience equation. Like when I say that you like saved Trey's life, I'm not being dramatic. That's real. Um, how do you guys see? I mean, I know you're in touch with a bunch of families. Like, do you see resilience playing out, and how do you see it playing out?
Yeah,
And
sorry, go ahead.
no, God, I was gonna say, like, any advice for those families out there that are like trying to find a path?
Yeah, so one of our favorite patients to talk about, her name was Mackenzie. Mackenzie was from upstate New York. She was originally diagnosed with breast cancer at 20 or 21. And she went through remission. She had that celebration, and then unfortunately, it came back by the time she was my age. So she was 27 then at stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And Mackenzie was literally the definition of resilience. At the end of Mackenzie's life, she actually legally changed her last name to Mackenzie Lives. So,
Oh
uh,
wow.
because she really wanted to totally imbibe the fact that no matter what was going on in her life, she was going to live her life to the fullest. So, if that meant calling Angel Flight and getting a flight to her clinical trial that she was inevitably going to get kicked out of, she was doing it. We flew Mackenzie to 3 or 4 different kind of clinical trials for metastatic breast cancer, not because she thought that it was going to save her life, but because she knew it was going to save somebody else's in the future. And so Mackenzie is the poster child of resilience. And I think that our biggest point to share with families who are going through it is just to keep going through it. It's going to change your life because you don't even realize the support network that you have while going through it, because you're not alone. And you don't realize that you're not alone until you take that first step.
I think that is so true. I think that understanding and knowing that there's hands open to you, reaching out for you, is very important for someone going through a storm, especially with a child or a family member that has special needs. I think it can be so isolating, but
Hmm.
to know that a hand is just waiting for you to reach out uh, is so um, meaningful, and it makes a big difference. And so for you guys, I do believe that this is definitely connected directly to resilience. Again, Tammy, I think one of the big things that we can do is try to specifically get the word out for their services to
Yeah.
families.
Well, Sharon, you hit on such an interesting point, and Maddie, thank you for sharing that because that is compelling. It is isolating. The whole everything is isolating. You just feel like you're doing everything by yourself. And I remember two things. Like the first flight that we took, it was just me and Trey, and I was like, I don't know, wary. They were like, "Hey," like my very first flight. I was sort of like, "What's the catch?" Like, I feel like there needed to be some catch. Everybody was super nice. Trey was, like, on a ventilator, he was, like, in a chair, like, it was a whole thing. Um, so I think that sense of community is so powerful, and I didn't really get it, um, to Maddie and Jessica until I went to the Wings and Wheels event, uh, last September. So I was like, "Wow, there is actually legitimately a community of people that care, and by the way, they have kids that don't have special needs. They're just down with the cause. So I thought that was really powerful. Do you guys want to talk a bit about that event and all the fantastic people that are there and what the goal is?
Yeah, so Wings and Wheels is our annual community event. It's held right at where we were based at, Wings Field in Bluebell. And it's basically a community day. We have about 60 antique cars on display, 15 to 20 antique airplanes. There's a pretty large kids activity area, and our volunteer pilots actually come out and do scenic flights for attendees. And we get about 3,000 people throughout the day. It's always held on the Saturday after Labor Day. So this year it is September 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I think a lot of people may not know is it is a fundraiser for Angel Flight. So I think when people come in, they just see all the activities, and it's such a fun day for people of all ages, but it also helps us raise money to continue to support our mission.
Yeah, that was super fun. We were I think we shut the place down. Like we were the last people there.
Yeah, a lot of people wait until the very
We
end.
did, of course, because
Uh,
you know me, I'm like party girl. Um, but the best thing, you guys gave a gift to so my daughter is Bria. That was the first time flying with you guys. I didn't even know she was allowed to come, was just this past summer. Um, but you took her friend who has mostly not really gone anywhere. Like just very, families like hunker down. They're making stuff work. You guys took her for a flight and she was speechless for the entire 2-hour ride home. She was looking at her pictures. She was just like completely blown away. So thank you for that. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
that's our favorite part of what we do is just giving people that experience and knowing that it's more than just getting your flight to care, but it's really the whole service of like we genuinely care about you. And like you said, that you don't understand how you haven't heard about us. It's really the bane of Jess and my's existence is just trying to get people to understand what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. My own brother-in-law is an oncologist, and I feel like every time he comes over for dinner, I'm like, "Can I help you yet? Can I help your friends yet? Can I help your neighbors yet? Can I help you yet?"
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's all about we just care about everybody having a good experience, and it's not the how can you help us and or waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's just wanting to be there for people.
Okay, so if somebody's out there listening, which they will be, and they want to support the organization, what are the different ways to support? And how do they get in touch for that? And then I'll ask you the follow-up question in a second.
Yeah, so definitely as a nonprofit, we always welcome donations. So those can be made on our website at angelflighteast.org. But another great way to help us is we are a pretty small staff. So there are 4 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees. So we are always looking for volunteers to help us with outreach or at our events, because with 4 people it's pretty difficult for us to be everywhere all the time kind of raising awareness about what we do. So if you also go to our website, there is a volunteer application, and then Maddie and I will follow up with anybody who may be interested.
And then I will also add in, just follow us on social media. A big thing for us is just getting the word out about what we do. So follow us, share us. It's the easiest way for you to do what you already do while helping a small organization. So just sending out to anybody that you think needs to hear about it, or even just clicking a share button on a post that you see that we make that really speaks to you. So if there's a really cute kid on an airplane, share it. Who doesn't want to see a cute kid? It's like when you see a commercial for a puppy. Who doesn't want to see a cute puppy? Clearly
Now, listen, I'm immediately like, are we friends on social media? Like, I have to go back through all of our social media and check. Okay, so if you're a family that is in need of a flight somewhere, I think Sharon asked a great question. Do you want to just like restate a few bullets about like here's how you can qualify and then where do they go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they can go to our website, angelflighteast.org, and there's more information about requesting a flight there. But so basically, to be a passenger of ours, you just have to have a qualifying need. So you have to be able to verify that you're going for care, which is just really getting your doctor to sign off stating that, yes, this is the best option for you, and that you're not just looking to go to Ohio for funsies. So really just making sure that we are a valid option and a safe option for you as well. From there, we do the rest, and that's all we need.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Hey, let's talk about real quick because I think it's fascinating. Let's talk about your COVID pivot.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Sharon, I think I hit a bad note.
No, it's like I still look back and think about everything we did with our volunteer pilots. So it's basically we had to shut down our flight operations because being in a small airplane is not very socially distance friendly. And one of our pilots from Ohio reached out and said, hey, what do you think about flying PPE? So we started flying from Indiana to Boston Emergency Management Agency. We were flying face shields that were donated by a company called Mersix. And then Maddie and I kind of were sitting at our conference table one day and said, what else can we do with this now that we know our volunteer pilots are interested? So we partnered with a lot of local volunteer groups who were creating face shields, face masks, surgical gowns, basically whatever we could get our hands on that could be donated. And then we would fly them to rural hospitals across the East Coast, because those were definitely the healthcare facilities that were in need and couldn't kind of keep up with all the price gouging that was going on. So it was just kind of a crazy time, but it was our small way of helping. And the volunteer pilots were basically lining up at our door to help with this. So yeah, it was fun, but we never want to be in the supply chain business again.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's such a great pivot. I think that's amazing.
During that time, we did over 200 flights for flying equipment, and it just really, we definitely didn't realize the impact we had until we took a chance to stop and look back. So we definitely don't want to go back to driving 15-foot box trucks from Salisbury, Maryland to Philadelphia, but we absolutely would if the need presents itself. So like I said, we're here whenever people need.
Yeah, I think, by the way, we talk about resilience, like that shows resilience in your organization.
Yeah.
That you didn't just shut down, like you figured out a way to keep going forward and helping other people move forward too. Amazing.
I think we still need a nap from it.
Yeah. A lot of math that we weren't prepared to do.
Well, hopefully we're out of that.
Yeah.
Sharon, do you want to have closing comments?
I want to encourage everybody who's listening, who can go out and support Angel Flight, even if it's just getting on Facebook, sharing their information, and also, helping out in any way they can, because this is a great cause, and it's really needed for our families.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you. We're going to come again for Wings and Wheels in September 9th.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Because that was so beyond like just getting great exposure for our organization. It was just really fun. So thank you both for being on. Go to angelflighteast.org to figure out all the ways you can help support this amazing organization, all the great work that we're doing. And we will be back next Monday at 12 o'clock. Have a fantastic week.
Guys, have a great day. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.